whether you're one of you. Anyway, welcome back. Benvenuto, bentornato, the Dini di Più kitchen. So today it's all about the pasta in ricotta. So, and we're going to get started. We're jumping right in with boiling water. And guess what I'm going to remember tonight? And that's to salt the water before I put the pasta in. So we're just going to give it a couple of big old scoops of salt, make it nice and salty, and then the water's going.
Tell us about where did you get this recipe? How's this happening?
So excellent question. Let me get this in the water, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So notice that this actually is linguine. Okay. In terms of the pasta shapes, this is a Dina recipe. So I initially learned this recipe from Dina, my friend who lives near Siena. And I've seen her make this with both penne and also farfalle, which looks like bow ties. Farfalle, I love that because that's the Italian word for butterfly. And those little pastas, they look like butterflies. So anyway, there's enough pasta here for 3 people because we have a couple of taste testers tonight. So water's boiling, salted, and drop it in, and I'm going for al dente, so this will just be about 10 minutes. And even this big pot, this linguine is a little longer. I'm doing linguine because I don't have spaghetti. Linguine would work, spaghetti would work. Also, bavette, which I haven't never had before, but I'm throwing out that word because it's Italian, and it's a pasta that I've never seen in the United States, but they have it in Italy. So, hi, Hannah's here, my niece Rachel's here, Cindy's here. Hi, you guys, we have California, we have both coasts here tonight. And then us right smack dab in the middle of the country.
Yay.
Okay, so Julie, can you give me 10 minutes on that?
I got it.
Oh, you
got it
right.
rolling, yeah.
So let me, here's my pasta thingy to poke the linguine so it's all under the water. So we're going to give that 10 minutes. You notice we're starting that right away because this sauce that we're making is going to be super quick. Oh, especially because I measured everything and I forgot to get it out of the fridge. So,
Rachel just joined the party and says, wish I was sitting at the counter patiently waiting to eat the end result. Oh my gosh, you really do, Rachel. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So first things first, ricotta. And this, I wish I could say this was fresh ricotta, but it's not. I was out of town, so I wasn't able to get to the Italian market, but it's ricotta that I just bought in a container at the grocery store, but it's full fat ricotta. But one of the things I wanted to talk about ricotta is when I'm in Italy, Simonetta and Orazio go and buy fresh ricotta from the 90-year-old man who lives on a farm not far from where they live. And a 90-year-old man still makes fresh ricotta. And that stuff is like, I just eat it. Seriously, just eat it. Sometimes maybe I put a little honey on it. So anyway, this is about 250 grams of ricotta, full fat ricotta, because if we're gonna have cheese, gotta have fat. Makes it so much better. So the ricotta goes in there. Bam, bam. Oh, I feel like Emerald. Bam, bam. Emerald was my gateway to Food Network. That's how I got addicted to Emerald and Food Network.
Thank you, Emerald.
Yep, it was actually, and then my father-in-law, he would watch Emerald, and that's how I got hooked on Food Network. I have him to blame for that. Okay, so there we go. A little 250 grams of ricotta. The other thing that goes in there is lemon zest, and of course, we all know my favorite is the Meyer lemon. So I'm just going to zest that right in there. Well, yeah, it's going right in there. So, any questions about anything? So, back to your question, Julie. So, this recipe, Dina showed me, and so I learned it from her. Had it, I've had it at her house a couple of different times, and I've also made it myself because I love the way it smells.
I know, it really does. They say, a total side note, but they say that Meyer lemons are the best lemons for cocktails.
Oh, yeah, they're the best. As far as I'm concerned, the best for anything.
Yeah.
Meyer lemons.
I strongly agree. When you planted citrus, was one of them a Meyer lemon?
Yes, they were both Meyer lemons. In fact, when I lived in California, I did have my very own Meyer lemon tree, which was the bomb. And one of my favorite things about California is having a citrus tree, which reminds me, I was just recently in California for a nephew's wedding, and there was a citrus tree out in the courtyard at the Catholic church where he got married. And they had these green things hanging. I'm like, are those limes or are those green oranges? They were green oranges. Unfortunately, I was going to pick them and take some with me, bring them back. But so I'm always on the hunt for Meyer lemons. All right, so that's that. I am going to keep this aside. So we're putting the zest into the ricotta. I'm going to hang on to this lemon because once we plate the pasta, I'm going to put a little squeeze of fresh lemon juice on top because that just brightens it all up and makes it taste all yummy. So if you noticed on Facebook, I said if you want to cook along, get a bunch of basil. I didn't mean like bunch as just use a bunch, but I meant like what would look like a bunch if you put it in your hand. So that's what we're going to use for the amount on the basil into this sauce.
Is there a difference if you use the top part of the basil? Of course, those aren't floured yet, but like the top part versus the bottom part, does it matter?
You know, that's a great question. I just use whatever basil the bugs haven't eaten.
Okay, yeah. Well, that would be a good. Yeah. I imagine that's good.
Yeah. So I'm just going to pinch off the leaves in here because we know how this works. Like I'm going to put it in the blender. Oh, let me turn this down just slightly. There we go. So I'm using a food processor. You could also use a blender to mix this all together. The point is just to chop it all up and have it be consistent in terms of how much the basil gets integrated into the ricotta. The other thing is, also tonight, I'm going to save some of the pasta water to use as a finishing touch in this pasta sauce. Yeah, I'm just going to call it a sauce, even though it's like not like what we might normally think about in a sauce. So just throw all these leaves in.
How do you determine how much basil to use?
That's a good question. Like enough that fill up your hand. A bunch. It looks like a little cute bouquet. Oops, okay. We don't need dog hair on the basil though.
Well.
Yeah. We don't need orzo in the sauce.
We love orzo, but not that much.
Yeah, not in the basil. All right, so basil, just tear those leaves off, put them in.
Wow, okay. So like bunch is enough for both of your hands.
Yeah, okay. like a fistful, just a fistful.
Yeah.
Or if you go and buy one of those plants that they have like at Trader Joe's, a basil plant when it's all potted, you could use like almost that whole plant. I'm going to hold back a little bit that I planted picked from the garden. So the basil's from my garden, hence the farm to table. It's more like garden to table. What's the difference between a garden and a farm? I think a farm has to have an animal, right? Does orzo count?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll say yes.
Okay, so lemon zest, salt and pepper, because we always do salt and pepper. And then we're going to give this a whirl. And a little olive oil. That's another thing that's a must. So seriously, y'all, this is it. We're going to salt and pepper. We're going to give this a big whirl. Lots of pepper. And I'm going to put more pepper in, but before I do that, we're going to do a little salt.
Any particular kind of salt, like sea salt or whatever?
Sea salt is good. I like my salt a little coarser. You know, you can play with different types and see which one you actually have a taste for or what preference you like in terms of salt, but I'm a sea salt fan. And if I can get my hands on Mediterranean sea salt, I like that. You know, that pink salt, Himalayan salt's good too. So, salt,
that's a
pepper.
lot of salt, girl. All right.
I know. That's because the ricotta isn't as salty.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Here we go. Okay.
So we're going to give this a little blend.
Beautiful.
There we go. And you know what? That basil's still pretty big chunks in there. Let's go a little higher. Yes, and just spin. So it kind of has the consistency of like a dip, like you'd put chips in. And then the other ingredient that we're going to use, if we're going to add to this, is about 100 grams of grated formaggio. I'm using, yes, pecorino. Parmesan would be a great one. In fact,
Why are you using pecorino instead?
because it's my favorite.
Okay.
So, what's fun
Is
about
it less salty?
Nope. The difference between pecorino, basically, well, pecorino is sheep's milk.
Oh, okay.
Hence the word pecorino, because pecorina is the word for sheep
Okay.
in Italian. So that's about 100 grams of grated cheese, and then we're going to give this another little blend, and you're going to see that it gets kind of thick, and that's why we're going to use a little pasta water. There we go. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Oh, I'm going to blend it a little more. Let's scrape it. Use a little scrape. What time's left on the pasta?
1 moment. You got 20 seconds, girl.
Oh, this is perfect. You guys, look at that. We had started 11 minutes ago. And this is how quick you can get this dinner done. Seriously. I mean, the thing that took me the longest was picking the basil. Let's give this another quick little swirl on high. Okay, I have to go at my list to make sure I remembered everything. Ricotta, lemon zest, salt and pepper. Oh, I know, olive oil. How do we forget the olive oil? Oh my gosh, you guys. How in the world can I forget olive oil? So we're gonna give this a healthy drizzle if you want to put that. There we go. Let's do a. Yeah,
Oh,
that's good.
delicious.
Yes. Can't waste one single drop of the olive oil.
That's right.
So
Okay.
good.
And here we go.
One more spin.
Here we go.
There. Okay. And is the timer going off on the?
Well, I didn't set a timer. I'm just looking
you're
at
just
it. So
watching.
yeah,
Oh.
it's ready.
All right.
That pasta's ready.
The pasta's ready, and what we're going to do is turn that off. Oh, I'm going to need pads because that's hot. And I'm actually just going to dip a little measuring cup into the pasta water and have that. So a couple weeks ago I talked about not saving the pasta water, that it's a mortal sin. This is why, because you use a little of the water from the boiled pasta to add to the sauce, our sauce that we're making, because it makes it a little creamier. So let's, you know what, I think I'm just gonna pour that into this colander.
Very good.
Which is called a scola pasta, which is hot pasta. I love it that that's what this little thing is called. And I'm gonna need.
While you're doing that, I'm going to tell you, Mary Carpenter from 2 Doors Down says, "I'm watching," and it looks
Tell her
delicious.
it's almost ready.
And then Lisa, from the other side of your neighborhood, says, "OMG."
Oh, I know. Let's see. I'm gonna taste this.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. That was there. Now continue chewing.
I was getting a little reminiscent of Lady and the Tramp while you were doing that, just so you know.
Yeah. Lady
But
and the
this episode was just Lady.
Yeah, exactly. The tramp is sleeping over here on the floor. Okay, so now I'm gonna get this out, and it's getting a little crowded over here. So crowded, and I don't want to knock over my wine glass because God help me if I lose a drop of that. Let's get this thing out of the way. So I'm going to show you the consistency of the sauce before I add the pasta water. So that's the consistency. It almost looks like a butter spread, like you would make.
Oh wow!
So let me see. Ooh, the olive oil didn't get all mixed in.
Oh my
there.
God, that looks crazy good.
Oh, I'm telling you, it is crazy good. There's something about lemon and basil together. And then who doesn't love ricotta? Oh my gosh.
Is that getting it? I can't see.
Oh, there. Yeah,
Is it
it's getting
getting
it.
it?
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Sorry to steal your OMG line there, Lisa. You're right. This is amazing.
So I'm gonna get every little bit off the blade. And this would be a good time for me to taste what's left on the blade here to see if I have the salt and pepper combo in a good balance. Oh, ooh. Oh my God. Sorry, y'all.
All right, here I come.
Yeah, gotta try it. Maybe a little pepper.
Okay. Yeah.
I think a little pepper.
Yeah.
We're good on the salt. Let's do this for pepper. And you know, actually, we could probably just pepper the dish too.
Yeah.
Once.
Pepper to taste.
Yeah, pepper to taste would be good. But I'm going to put a little more pepper in. And then give it a little mix. And now, I'm so excited. I can't wait to taste this. This is so good.
Me too.
I say that every week. Oh, this is my favorite dish. Well, all the dishes are almost my favorite.
They're your favorite dish for the week.
Exactly. And you know what? Let's add just a little dash of that pasta water. Give it a little mix.
You wanting a little bit less dense consistency? Is that why you did that?
Yeah, it's amazing what a little pasta water will do. It adds this creaminess to the sauce. And another time I'll show you, Dina has another trick to make pasta sauces creamy, where she uses breadcrumbs. I know.
Oh,
Who
wow.
knew? So.
And the chunky Italian breadcrumbs?
No, more the American type.
Okay, okay,
breadcrumbs.
okay.
Yeah. Good distinction. Great question, because we know from last week and the stuffed eggplant that there is a little difference. So let's spoon some of this in and give it a little stir to see if we need a little bit more. I think, let's get a little tongs.
Cindy says, I'm definitely making it this week.
Yes, it is so good and so easy. Let's do a little mixy mix and see how the sauce sticks to the pasta. I'm going to put a little more sauce in there because you know what? It's delicious.
Now the sauce being, oh, that
This
sauce. Okay, I thought you were going to, yeah.
So here we go. A little more of that. And when no one's looking later, I'll probably finish that off with a spoon. Just straight up finish it. Mix, mix.
So wait, at the beginning of this, did you say that it's bow tie pasta? What did you say about bow tie pasta? Is
Well,
that
I said
also
that,
something you could do with this recipe?
yeah, I've seen Dina use farfalle, penne. You can use spaghetti, bavette. We're using linguine. I've also used, I like penne. I also have used rigatoni, like mezzi rigatoni, something that's going to hold the sauce onto the pasta. So pastas with little ridges help, or pasta with hollow. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry that you can't smell on the Facebook. This is like gorgy gorge. Let me get a couple of pasta bowls and I'm gonna plate this up. And then we're going to do a little taste test. Yeah, and before we taste it, I am going to do just a little drizzle of olive oil in this. All right, maybe this is, oh, how did I miss that? Oh, how did I miss that?
Oh.
A few little crumbs of the lemon zest left in the grater.
Oh yeah, that's an important detail. I agree.
All right, so here we go into the pasta bowl. I'm going to try to do that pretty swirly thing, and I'm not succeeding.
Not yet.
Not succeeding. So there's that, and then so here, Julie, I'm going to. Good, you guys can see all this. I'm going to give this just a little. Oops, that's more than a little. Oops. Oh, you caught me. And then, so I saved a few little leaves of the basil that I picked earlier, so we can put that in the dish. Ecco ci qua, here it is, so pretty. So this goes to Julie, and then I'm gonna have a little taste. There's lots more here. I don't know how much you want. Yeah, but don't go anywhere yet. You guys have to hear the results. Julie, have a taste.
Okay. There we go.
And I'm thinking if I used a fork, I might be able to make it look prettier. Oh my gosh. Well, that's not working very good.
Oh, wow. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Julie's
All right.
Julie's response is wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So I'll take a taste and
You know what? You stopped doing the pepper because you were like pepper to taste.
yes,
And yeah, it is absolutely perfect, but I would,
maybe add a little pepper.
I'm doing it right now.
So Julie likes a little more pepper on her pasta. I'm gonna do a little bit of olive oil because I love that. And sorry, ooh, I need a fork.
You gave me your fork. Thank you.
All right, eccoci qua.
I want to hear your. I want to hear yours. Go on, Lady and the Tramp.
The melon or lemon.
The lemon.
Adds this really nice little nuance of flavor. It's not overbearing. You can taste it. And you know what? That amount of basil that I used was spot on because we know basil can be a little overpowering. So playing with it and oops, I'm spitting pasta. Finding a balance between the lemon and the basil. This is like squisito. That's what the Italians do.
Final comment. Mitzi says, is this gonna be on YouTube? And I love that bowl.
Oh yeah. So this will be on YouTube. I'll upload it in a couple of days and then it'll be on YouTube forever that we can watch it and come back to it.
And then Lori.
Yeah. Who else is on there?
And then Lori asks, for those of us with a sweet tooth, would you consider making a dessert?
Oh, dessert is coming, you guys. Dessert is coming. Maybe next week. There's a couple of cakes I've been wanting to try. And Simonetta, my friend Simonetta, she's a good one for the desserts. So that's it for tonight. Did you see that? You guys, look how easy this was. And it tastes so good. Like you can dazzle your friends. They're going to like think you're really hot shit with this stuff.
Because that's what we think you are.
Anyway, bon appetito. And we'll see you next week. And let's do a cake next week. I think it's time. Ciao.
Thank you, Mitzi. Because we get to dessert.